Higa is a YouTuber and Twitch streamer with over 909,000 followers on Twitch, who also happens to run the Alveus Sanctuary, which is a 501c3 nonprofit sanctuary for animals, and also just happens to have 334,000 subscribers on YouTube. But Maya's in the news today because something pretty scary happened to her, and it's unfortunately becoming more and more common throughout the United States. Maya was almost kidnapped by random people in the streets of LA. So if we take a look at what Maya said, you'll get her full story, but the gist of it is she was almost pulled into a van by a bunch of random men. Let's take a listen.
I'm busy. Also trying to be nice though, because I'm scared, you know? So I'm not trying to make him mad. So I was just like, no, it's okay. I'm sorry. Like, I'm on a call. I can't right now. And he was like, oh, let me get your number though. And I was like, no. And he's like, just get in the car.
What?
Yeah, bro, I've never had anything like this in my life.
He said, you said no and he said just get in the car?
Yeah. He was like, well, just get in the car. And
that is so fucked up.
And I was like, I will not be getting in the car. And then 3 of their doors, there's 4 of them in the sedan, and 3 of their doors open at the same time.
Oh no.
And the guy in the driver's seat starts walking towards me. So I get up and start like speed walking away. And he's like, oh, so you're running from me now?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is the plan here? And then Nick from the yard was across the street and I ran over to Nick.
Oh my God, that is actually terrifying.
It was crazy. I've never been pressed like that in my life.
That's right. Higa says this is the first time anything like this has ever happened to her, but a bunch of men came up to her in a van and they tried to pull her into the car after she was rebuffing their advances for a little bit, which is insane. That's not something that happens in a functional society. Unfortunately, the United States has become more and more dysfunctional in recent days, especially in cities like LA. Now, you might know that LA has the same problem that they recently had in DC, where the prosecutors don't like to go after criminals, the police don't like to arrest criminals, and the judges don't like to put criminals in jail, which leads to there being a bunch of criminals on the streets. The same thing just happened in DC, except instead of a streamer getting almost kidnapped, we had a Trump administration staffer known as Big Balls get assaulted in DC after he stepped up to try to rescue a woman who was in a very similar situation as Maya was. Whereas Maya had people attempting to pull her into a car, Big Balls actually saw a carjacking in progress and ran up and stopped it and rescued the woman who was about to be carjacked, allowing her to get into the car and drive away, while he distracted the people who were attacking her and took a beating for it, unfortunately. And that's getting scarily common in these cities that are run by the left-wing people, because for some reason, they don't feel like punishing criminals is a good idea. However, fortunately, we're starting to see some kind of progress on this. You might have heard that Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard into DC, as well as federal law enforcement, the FBI, the DEA, Homeland Security, the US Marshals. Everybody's in DC right now, and they're packing some serious heat. And not like they're actually going to use any of these massive Humvees for anything, except for transport, but it's a show of force, right? Trump has all of these people out there. He's flooded the streets with police, he's flooded the streets with National Guard members, and because of that, the crime rate in DC right now is incredibly low, because everybody's scared that if they commit crime, they're actually gonna get punished, which is not something that happens in cities like LA. And unfortunately, what happened to Maya is getting more and more common. In fact, if we go down into the comments of this thread, you will see right here, I literally heard someone else share this exact story, but she was grabbed through the window like 2 weeks ago. Is this that common? And yeah, so it's happening more and more and more. And unfortunately, this isn't the only situation like this that somebody in the comments has been exposed to. If we scroll down here, there's even more. This happened to me after a club. This guy pulled up an expensive supercar and I asked what kind of car is that, and he told me to just get in. I told him I was with my friends and he told me to leave them while trying to push me in. I peep inside the car and there are 2 other women inside drunk as hell. So yeah, this kind of thing is incredibly common. Common enough that 2 random people in the Twitter thread, and probably more, because I didn't go super in depth into the comments, because God forbid, I can't read that many Reddit comments, guys. I can't do that to myself. It's common enough that there's multiple people in the comments who are saying that they've had a very similar experience, and that's not good. And that's how we get stuff like this, because when people start to feel unsafe on the streets, somebody's got to make them feel safe again. And Trump's doing that with the National Guard and basically a show of force in DC, which has the criminals scared and running. Now, will we see the same thing happen in LA? I don't know. It's a little bit more complicated because the way that DC was made into its own little district still gives a lot of power to the president to make changes there, which he wouldn't have in a place like LA. But you never know, because this kind of stuff is not good and nobody wants it. And basically, we just need to get back to a time where we punish criminals so people don't have to be scared about being kidnapped while they go out in LA. Anyway, what do you guys think about this whole mess? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day and God bless you.